Boiling pasta. 6 times the amount of water to the weight you have of pasta. Just use a lot of water. Less water means it's going to stick together. Lots of water, all the action, convection, movement in your water is going to keep your pasta going. Ow! Boiling water. Make sure you get some salt in there. Salted water. Heavily salted water. Don't be shy with the salt. Salt, I don't think, is the enemy. That's just my opinion. Salted water. Boiling salted water. Fettuccine. Drop it in. Give it a quick stir. Wooden spoon works fine. If I want them to soften up, get into the water. Hey, here I am. Real important, get that lid on it. As soon as you put that pasta in the water, temperature comes down. It's not boiling anymore. Get the lid on it. Bring it back to a boil real fast. As soon as it comes back to a boil, get the lid off. That way it doesn't boil over. Make sure you got a big enough pot. Breaking pasta in half to fit it in your little pot doesn't work. Don't do that. Go spend the money, get a big pot. You're gonna be making stocks and soups and all that stuff anyway. Might as well have a nice big pot. What's the point of cooking pasta if we don't have a sauce? Nice good frying pan. Look at that. Back to a boil. Oh my gosh, that was fast. Fitted lid. Did I say that part? Fitted lid. Once it comes back to a boil, stir it around a little bit. There we go. Next, our sauce. Hot pan. You really want to see a simple sauce? Does sauce have to come from a jar? No, it doesn't. A little bit of low-fat, 35% cream. If you're doing about 2 people, maybe a pint, 500 milliliters. That doesn't really matter. We're not making so much sauce that it's swimming in it. It's not a pool of sauce. What you're just making is enough sauce to coat those noodles. Make it yummy and tasty and exciting. We're going to bring this cream to a boil. We're going to let it reduce by about half. Then I'll show you what comes up next. Getting that reduction going, you don't want it to boil over. You can turn it down at this point. Keep in mind your pasta. Give it a nice little stir again. Looking good. Wooden spoon, get down to the bottom, make sure it's not sticking. But the whole idea of lots of water, water boils up and then comes down the sides, up, and it takes the pasta with it. Keeps the pasta from sticking together, keeps it from sticking on the bottom. Small pot, useless pot. Big pot, great pasta. So we're reducing our cream. Next we're gonna add Parmesan. Then we're gonna add a little bit of seasoning, and that's it. Just scrape down the side a little bit. Keep all that goodness in there. At this point, nutmeg. Fresh nutmeg, fantastic. I got some powder, not so bad. This would be classified as a pan sauce. One of the biggest problems people make when they're making sauces for pasta, pasta has no flavor. It's a sponge. It's going to suck up all that flavor. If your sauce isn't almost past the point of over-flavored, and once you add your pasta, it goes bland. Let's get a little bit of salt in there. For this fettuccine alfredo specifically, remember the cheese itself has a lot of salt, a really salt content. So don't get too crazy with your salt. But remember, you can always adjust that later. Mark, you're a pretty sexy guy. That's why I keep looking at your eyes and not the camera.
Oh, shut up.
That cream, that nutmeg in there, you can already start to smell it. You can see that with the spoon when I drag it through, leaving that little trail, getting nice and close. If you're going to do a cup of cream, do a cup of cheese. Nice thickening agent. At this point, do not boil. Boiling cheese, bad idea. Give a nice stir. Keep that temperature good and low. Now, if you're at home and no one's looking, use your finger. If you're in your kitchen and you're on camera, use a spoon. Oh, Good stuff. Perfect. Nice cheesy flavor, nice creamy, good texture. That nutmeg's there, it's not overpowering. Right amount of salt, looking good. Let's put that to one side. If it over reduces, if it gets a little too thick for you, I got a little trick that I'll show you all about. First, let's check our pasta. While I'm on it, these tongs are not expensive and they're worth every penny. If you're at home with those tongs, with the ones designed for the hot dogs, the 70s are gone. Get rid of those things. They're horrible. These things are where it's at. Even the ones at the dollar store for $1.25 are worth it. What I'm going to do with this pasta is pull it in half. I'm going to look right in there. I don't think it's there yet, but you're going to start to see like a little yellow, little white dot in the middle. That's uncooked pasta. But I can tell by how it feels that it's not done. Not done at all. Remember, people say, oh, hey James, but I know when pasta's cooked. It's when it sticks to something when you throw it against it. See, it's not done. I can already tell that this pasta is getting there, but not quite there. It's still a little firm. You're going to come across that term, the al dente. It's firm to bite, not raw, not crunchy, and not overcooked, but firm. So when you bite into it, it has texture, but without being raw. Of course, there's the stickiness. Don't rely on if it sticks to the cupboard door or if it sticks to the wall that it's done. That's just the starch and the pasta coming out. You don't want that. Cutting into your pasta, looking at your pasta, that's what you're looking for. Most pastas all cook around the same amount of time. If you started making Kraft Dinner when you were little, what was it, 7 to 9, 8 to 10 minutes, something like that, when you're 6 years old and you're learning how to cook your own pasta from a box? I mean, they weren't too far off when it comes to cooking pasta. Macaroni, spaghetti, fettuccine. Keep in mind though, if it's a thicker pasta, it's going to take longer to cook. If it's a tube or it's hollow, water's going to get in there. Cook a little less time. If it's fresh pasta, it's 4 minutes and it's done. There are some great pastas that have cheese in them, like a tortellini. I like these things. When they float, they're done. Pasta's nice, not sticking together. Sometimes you'll pull a piece of pasta, it's going to be cooked. You know, oh, it's perfect, it's great. And then you dump the whole pasta and find out it was the only piece there that was cooked. Make sure you sample a couple times. Now this one I can feel. I can almost squeeze it. Oh, I pinch it with my finger like that. It's nice. It's got that texture I'm looking for. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to go off camera for a second. Just strain this pasta. Straining pasta, do it into your sink. Keep in mind, don't rinse your pasta with water. Don't cool it down with water. It just washes all the starch off, and that starch holds on to the sauce. It becomes part of the sauce. It's a really good part of the pasta. You wash off the pasta with water, the good part of the pasta goes down the drain. If you want, cool it down, flatten it out onto a tray, let it cool down to room temperature. And somebody will say, oh, you know, you don't want it to stick together. I'll get the olive oil on or get the oil or sort of separate that way. You don't necessarily have to do that. You know what? You sprinkle it, just flick a little bit of water with your hand, just like that onto it. Toss it up, breaks up, no problem. Here's our pasta. We're back to our sauce. It's nice. A little bit of that water will always loosen up your sauce a little bit. Okay, let's get this bad boy on a plate. And we're hot in 3, 2, 1. Hot, hot, hot. Okay, so nice plate. Don't forget the cloth. Don't want to burn yourself. Here's that pasta. Fettuccine. See how it's thick? Oh my gosh, look at that. Give it a nice little spin. Onto the plate. Now, maybe earlier you remember something about celery leaf? Well, this is what we like. We're going to take some real Nice fresh Parmesan. Decorate that plate. Shake it up. And put some on the side. There we go.